Ground moles are wrecking your yard, garden, or building structures. Maybe it seems like even your life in pursuit of them. Hidden underground, and your dogs appear to be useless deterring them. Over the years, I've tried many different methods, and the only surefire way to get rid of them is to end them. I'm all for live and let live, actually happy to coexist with nature, except for these guys. The amount of structural damage, yard damage, and garden damage they can do is unacceptable. I'm going to show you what I use and exactly how I use it with specifics about location and trap setting details. This is the only kind of trap I'll use. Note that the length of the stakes is 5 to 6 inches. This is crucial, as most are shorter than this and do not have enough depth to grab hold of many types of ground cover. When the short ones spring, they simply can lift out of the ground. The longer stakes grab hold, driving the tines deep into the ground to dispatch the pest. The short ones are virtually useless unless you have a ton of clay near the surface that will hold anything in. Before setting the trap, you need to find the ideal place for it, typically a longer and clear tunnel. This is a place they will likely come back to. You don't want to put the trap where they have been spiraling and foraging around. Note, never push down the ground mole tunnels if you want to trap. You don't want to increase the chance they divert course. You want them to stay on the already dug tunnel. If you want to test the activity in an area, only push down one spot with your foot per tunnel. This is not enough to encourage them to make new tunnels. Once you've found the ideal location, you're ready to set up. First, start by pressing your heel into one part of the tunnel, just one spot where the trap will go. You want to have them easily passing through until your trap, where they will then need to reopen the tunnel. This is where most people start to mess up now. Setting the trap. You want to push the trap into the ground all the way down just before the trigger touches. If your soil is hard, press and pull the spikes in and out of the ground until they have a debris-free path. Once the stakes are in firmly and the tines can freely penetrate, you need to set the trap. Pull the spring-loaded tines up, but hold the unit still in the ground so you don't loosen the stakes. Once the trigger has been set, you need to take very special care to clear the trigger. Between 1/8 of an inch to less than 1/4 inch of air should be between the ground and the trigger. This will let the pest get all the way into the trap zone. Without that, people run into a lot of premature triggering and the moles will simply go around or under. This is the most difficult thing in the setup. Understanding how much clearance will always get them in the perfect spot. The depth I just mentioned should be a really good guide to start with though. Note how much time and care I take in clearing this trigger. You don't want any debris or pebbles or twigs or anything like that in between. Just clear air. You want that 1/8 of an inch to less than 1/4 of an inch of space. Just be sure and be careful with your fingers and the tines and the springs. After the trap is set, I recommend checking regularly if possible. They are total pests, but no need for them to suffer longer than necessary. Once you see your trap sprung, quickly but smoothly head to the area. If you've barely snagged one, you don't want to scare them off by running. I always press the tines in as far as possible with my fingers after a trap is sprung to ensure a good strike. To check the trap and remove the pest, I recommend using a shovel and simply lifting out a chunk with and around the trap with one shovel scoop. When you start to raise the shovel, you can typically see that you have one, and I'll spare the rest of that in the video. In grass or dirt, this works well, ensuring you don't release any moles. With grass, you can then just put the dirt back in and put the sod piece back over the top. You may need to finish off the job, so a quick shovel strike to the neck will do it. I've gotten rid of 7 ground moles so far this season with this method, and 1 just last night within an hour of setting the trap. I found nothing that works this well following the steps I mentioned. Thanks for watching and good luck.